Hello everyone and welcome to another Hallyu Sees It review. Today I'm doing another product review, this one from Yellow Mountain Imports, and it is Mahjong. This is an American Mahjong set, and I'll be looking at one of the many sets that they offer online, and also taking a look at one of their Mahjong mats as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and show you some of this. I'm actually going to tackle the mat first and then bring back on the set itself. So first of all, the mat. So the mat is a great size. Now I'm trying to remember the specific size here. It's just under 3 feet. It's somewhere around 30 inches by 30 inches, maybe 34, 32. So it is not quite that 3 feet by 3 feet for a player mat. It comes in this nice sleeve here. Now, nice, you know, it's not like a real, it's not like a velvety material or anything like that, but it does seem to be a nice sturdy material, which is the important thing, I think, for, oh, sorry, bumped the camera, for, you know, the actual cover of this. So I think it will hold up well. The mat fits nicely in here. It does have a drawstring that you can do that, as well as a adjustable piece here so that you can sling it over your shoulder, carry it around. So very useful little bag, carrying bag, and storage option for this player mat. It also comes with this clear plastic tube, which you can use to help roll up the mat around, which I find very useful. So let's go ahead and show you the other side of this. They have a few different colors, a few different sizes. They're all fairly close to this. They do offer some smaller ones. And yeah, so the other side of this is very kind of rubbery feeling. Let me see if we can bring that up for you so you can take a closer look. It's very non-slip grip mat on the other side, which is very, very useful. And it works great on the different tables here. Today I'm reviewing on my poker table downstairs, so I wouldn't need the mat in this case, but we have a nice wooden table upstairs where we play primarily most of our games. And so I don't like the, you know, Mahjong tiles, domino tiles, whatever it is on that wood, that hardwood directly. And so this player mat is a really great option for that. That, or if you're playing on a cart table, you know, the cart table, it's not a non-slip grip, but a lot of the cart tables have kind of a leathery almost feel to them. And it almost acts like a non-slip grip if you're playing with Mahjong tiles, domino tiles. And so trying to move or slide those tiles around on those, you know, a card table or something, which is very common to play like Mahjong on, because it's 4-player game. You like to have everyone be able to reach into the table. You know, if you're working on a longer table, obviously this isn't going to cover that, but you're not going to want to play Mahjong necessarily on those tables, those types of tables anyway. So for what it's for here, I think it works great. So this surface, very slick, very nice feeling. I like personally the non-design just color. You can see a little bit of through the light there, some ridges, if you will, from being rolled up a little bit. But it's really, really not bad at all. I think the light makes it a little bit worse than it actually is. It's actually pretty flat, nice. So it works really well. I'm very happy with the mat, the storage solution that they have for it. Everything is great on the mat itself. And they do have, again, some different designs if you don't like the gold and different things like that. But I think this is great and something to use. Cart tables, you can use this for other games other than Mahjong. if you're looking to protect a surface or looking for a surface where you're just more easily able to slide things around, unlike your normal card table surface. So that is the mat itself and the case there. So let's move on to the set. This Mahjong set is heavy. Oh boy. Yes, Mahjong. I honestly have not really played Mahjong. I started getting into it a little bit, trying to figure it out. It's a fun little game, and it's one of those that has, you know, a pretty good following. And it's interesting because it gives you kind of the feel of those, a lot of 4-player games like Bunko, or just playing, you know, poker or different things like that. And so I was really intrigued. Now, the first thing here is the case. The case here has this nice black kind of velvet here on the bottom, which I appreciate because it's going to help save. Again, like, I wouldn't want to just bang this up onto the hard table, a nice wood table. So the underside here, it has this velvet on here. It's adhered really nicely, like really nicely. Like, I was a little worried, you know, on the corners and things, but it is well made, very well made. You got the Yellow Mountain imports here. This and the koi fish. This is, go ahead and open this and show you. But everything with the case, I'm very happy with. The wood looks nice. It's very functional. The latches work well and hold it tight. It's like it is very heavy. So I was a little worried about that. But with this handle, everything works really well. So I was very happy with the case itself. It is heavy, but it's heavy because there's lots of stuff in here. They include a how to play with this here. Now, the most difficult part about Mahjong, if you're watching this, I imagine you probably already know, but maybe you don't. Like me, you're kind of new. The game of Mahjong is very simple itself, and you're picking up, you know, you're picking up one of the tiles, and then you're picking up one, and then you're discarding one, picking up one and discarding one, and trying to get sets and runs and those sort of things. So the concept of the game is fairly simple. The scoring is like, there's all these different scorings. It can be a little complicated. Like the official Mahjong scoring, you have to like buy a card for every year. They come out with a new one. So it's just interesting because it's one of those where it's like, if you were to know nothing about Mahjong and you were to open this up and you'd be like, huh, okay, so I understand kind of how to play this game, but how do I score this thing? It's confusing. It's very confusing. And then you have all sorts of different scorings to go with it. That's the hardest part about Mahjong, is understanding the scoring, because you can score certain ways, but then it's like the special tile. You can have, like, if you can get this, that gets you points. If you can do it without actually claiming discarded tiles, you can get more points, kind of double your points if you have like a concealed hand. And there's all these little nuances to it. But if you can get to the game itself and you just kind of play through that, it's a very intriguing little game to play. So, but they include a basic rule book. Also in here, you have kind of these velvet lined inserts for it. Now this has some of the extra Mahjong tiles in it. It does come with a wind direction die that you can use with one of the acrylic tiles here cut out for it to sit in. Comes with some dice, just mainly just used for the setup there. It comes with these kind of plastic see-through pushers, which you can attach to the holders here, and basically is moved. You kind of collect these tiles. Everyone kind of helps collect these. At the end, shuffle them up, you stack them in front of you, then you can kind of use your pusher to kind of push out the tiles, create the walls, as they call them, in the center. So the pushers, again, I have no other set to compare this to. So this is just my, my feelings about this set from like a beginner standpoint. But they seem to work. They seem to be the right size. They seem to be made well. So you have pushers that are included in that. There are, as I mentioned, extra tiles. So there's some extra sets in here. There's some bonus or extra, like some of the tiles. So you'll have to kind of sort through your first play, and it will tell you how many tiles you're going to end up using. This says 166 tiles and 152 are used to play. If you're playing, depends on which way you play too, because if you're playing a certain way, you may not even use 152 tiles. You may be removing some of the other tiles, like the flowers or the jokers and that sort of thing. So the set has everything, which is great. Has the pushers there. Let's go ahead and show you these. So these are, got two here. They're stacked on top of each other. And again, in the velvet line things, what are they? They're basically this nice wood, beautiful wood color, stained really, really well. With these metal kind of brackets on the end, you can hook your pusher onto one of these. You can also, one of the things you can do with these, you kind of pull these off, and you can put the scoring markers on here as well. So that works. As far as I can tell, it's pretty similar to what others have. I will say some of the wood is a little warped. You can probably see that a little bit. So if it's straight here, it's kind of twisted a little bit. Probably going to be hard to show on camera there, but I think you can kind of see that. So if I'm looking at it straight here, it's not straight. But I was worried about that as I got it up. It doesn't sit quite flat, but it's really didn't impact the gameplay or anything much. You kind of stack your tiles here. You can place your, revealed tiles here on this portion of it. Kind of show you the size there. They're a little bit smaller than I was imagining, these Mahjong tiles. For some reason, I was thinking they would be a bit bigger. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. But yeah, so I mean, they're smaller than I was expecting, but they fit well with the holders, and the holders hold the tiles well. Again, the only thing with the holders is the slight warping a little bit of the wood, not exactly straight. So that's the only thing with the holders. Okay, so we pull that aside here. I'll show you some of these actual, some of the, so these are your tiles. Again, double stacked in these little velvet containers. Really, really nice. I have these set aside, so these are some of the extra tiles. So just a very convenient way to keep those set aside separate. They have a bunch of different designs. As you can see here, though, I decided to go with the koi fish. Here's your green dragon tile. Again, they're about half and half here with the white and the designs. Everything is printed really clearly. Excuse me. The quality of the tiles are great. They're fantastic. Very clear. Color pops. Don't have any like weird, like missing paint or anything. So the quality of the tiles are really, really nice. The design here on the back that I went with, I really do enjoy. I love fish, actually. And so when I was looking into a set, I was like, oh man, that would be perfect. I have had a few people like, oh, that's really, really cool. And then look at it close and they're like, oh, I thought it was like 3D or something. It's not. So you can see there, it's just that clear, and it's printed on kind of the back there, if you can see that. So, but, you know, I don't need it to be some cool, like, 3D thing. That would have been awesome for sure. But all of the tiles have the same back, and they look like that. So, cool design. They, again, have, you know, just kind of different color, like a gold or a green, or, you know, all the different designs there. I personally like the koi fish. I think it's pretty cool. All the tiles fit in there pretty well. Again, so these are extra that you don't usually normally play with. These are extra that you don't normally play with. I was a little disappointed that these extras can't all fit in those two things, but you know, I think it's reasonable because these are extras. Just to have them set aside, I think works just fine. So the tiles themselves are great though, and very clear, and I like them a lot. I think great quality Mahjong tiles there. So the only other thing to talk about are these coin markers, which I referred to, can be put on these holders, and you take those off. I'm going to show you. Now, I guess that is the other. So they have these black things that you kind of put on, because otherwise it's just an open metal piece. It's not like sharp or anything, but the caps I thought were kind of interesting. It's just kind of protect other things, I guess, when you're moving around. Some of the caps are a little bit hard to get on and off. So I don't know that you necessarily need them, but over time too, I'm sure those would loosen up a little bit. But for these are your coin markers, and these are like a really thin metal. So I don't know what type of metal they are, but it's very thin. And like I said, you can just kind of plop those on there. That's what those holders are for. There's a few different colors here, so you can denote the value of the colors how you want. The yellows could be 1 or whatever point value you want. And you can kind of keep track of your score and your points, and something physical that you can look at. And it looks like it's usually something like this, or like little sticks or different things to keep track of score. But they work. The only thing with the coins that I will let you know is I opened these up. They came in a different bag, and they stunk. They did not smell pleasant whatsoever. I'm going to take another whiff now. Better, much better. There is kind of a tinny smell to them, but when I originally got them, they did not smell good at all. So what I actually ended up doing with these is I washed them. I took, put them in a bowl with some nice hot water and soap, and washed all of them, dried them all off, and put them in a different bag so they didn't have that funky smell. And yeah, much better. There's still kind of a tinny smell to them, but yeah, that was a little unpleasant to open to originally. I think I got most of the smell off, but there is kind of this tinny smell now to it as well. So if you're sensitive nose, you may not enjoy the scoring markers. Again, I think you can probably get it to a point where you're good. At least I have. But again, you also don't have to use these as well. With some of the scoring, it seems like to me it would be just easier to write it down with pen and paper, pencil and paper. So, but that is the Mahjong set. Again, it has everything that you need other than like the different scoring options. As I mentioned before, there's American Mahjong, which comes out with like a different scorecard every year. Then there's kind of your more traditional kind of Mahjong that you would have like maybe world, you know, tournaments with and everything. And that's a different set of scoring. They all kind of use the same or mostly the same terminology of like what a set of 3 is, a run of the different tiles, and different things like that. But the score varies quite significantly on how you score the actual hands, right? Your tiles. But basically, in collecting those Mahjong, you make one of the hands, then you call out Mahjong, and you get points based on all those different things. So that's the biggest thing with Mahjong, the game itself, is that the scoring, I think, is the hardest part by far. Other than that, you're drawing a tile and discarding a tile. Depending on certain tiles and how you can claim certain points, how you're playing, you can maybe claim a tile that someone discarded, and then you would be able to claim that for your set, and then the play would continue there. But yeah, a very fascinating game. A great set for Mahjong here, as it includes everything that you need, including holders, the pushers, the tiles, great quality tiles and components there. Some smelly things that I think you can get cleaned up pretty good to keep points there. And the holders themselves, again, some of the wood and the connections here slightly off. So if that's going to drive you crazy, just be aware of that. I've had pretty good experience with Yellow Mountain, though. If you are not happy, there's something that is off with it, contact their customer service. They're usually very happy to help out with that. So again, it wasn't a huge deal for me. That they're slightly off, so they're just slightly kind of wobbly, but it might drive you crazy. So anyway, there it is. Again, they have multiple different sets on here. This is a very nice set, very heavy set as well. A lot comes in this, and that is the Mahjong set from Yellow Mountain Imports, and the player mat from Yellow Mountain Imports as well. And that is how Lou sees it.